row. We don't bite.
Oh, but what? I break the tradition and he has to listen. I know, isn't it terrible?
Still my inspiration, dude. Awesome.
So for those members of Temple, these are amazing students from Gannon. And if you're sitting next to them, please help them as through part of the service so that you can they can follow the service as best as possible. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Which is this wonderful greeting that we have on Shabbat, a time that we begin on Friday evenings and carries over through Saturday evening. And Shabbat is a time of rest, a time of reflection, a time to let the stresses and the complications of the week begin to fade and embrace that moment of pause, that moment of exhale, a moment of time to think about not the complexities and whether it's work or classes or assignments or all of those things, but the important pieces in life, the parts of life of who I am and where I belong, and all those important kind of reflective moments. And so we'll begin as we light our Shabbat candles, and we'll invite Lyrica to come forward and light them for us. And that blessing can be found on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chad likner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Esher Koach, thank you. Let's turn together to page 10. And there we find a selection of songs, and we'll begin as we warm ourselves up for Shabbat with Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful this day is.
There we go.
Shabbat.
Shalom. That's a thing today. Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. The first part of our service is known as a Kabbalat Shabbat, or the part of the service in which we welcome Shabbat into our hearts. And so we'll begin that section on page 12 with Lechu Neranena, come, let us sing joyously to God.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu lekama fachetoda. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu lizmiro la'iramo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
The ancient rabbis in northern Israel in a place known as Tzfat would on Shabbat evenings go out into the field, and into the fields they would welcome Shabbat as they would reenact the ancient wedding between God and the Jewish people. And Shabbat is seen as the bride, and the Jewish people as groom, and so when we join together, we reenact this loving relationship and marriage between the two. And there was a gentleman who wrote a piyut, or a religious poem, and put it to music and is part of our service. And it can be found on page 20. It's known as Lecha Dodi. And as we get to the very last stanza, so we're going to do verses 1, 2, and then skip to 9. When we get to verse 9, we'll all stand up together as if we are at a magical, mystical wedding. We'll turn to the back of the room and mythically welcome our Shabbat bride.
Lecha Dodi,
לקראת כלה,
בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיור אחד, איש ויענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושם תפארת ותהילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שבת לכו ונלכה, הנה כל הברכה, מראש מקדם סוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
שלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, טוב אמונה עם סגולה, בואי כלה בואי כלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Please be seated. When two Jews meet, there is a common greeting that says, Shalom Alechem, and the response is, which means, peace be on you, and the response being, on you, may there be peace. And so we join, really giving each other that greeting as we begin Shabbat on page 24.
Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Morchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei
As we close this section of Kabbalat Shabbat and we begin the next section of Shema and its blessings, we end the section with what we call the Chatzi Kaddish, which is really liturgical punctuation that ends one section, begins another. We can find that on page 26 as we ask you all to please rise. And then after the Chatzi Kaddish, we'll continue on the following page with Baruch Hu, which is our call to worship.
Yitgada v'yitgada shmei Rabba.
Amen.
Yamad yivarach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei.
B'chayechon u'v'yomecha u'v'chayechol Beit Yisrael b'agala u'v'zman kariv yimeru. Amen. Yeshmei Rabba Nevorach Ve'alam Ulam Ne'almaya Yitbarach
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kudusha
B'richu
Ve'la min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata V'nechemata Tamiram Ve'alma Yimeru. Amen.
And on page 28, Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated and let's join together at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the ways on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadita, Al Kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shokneinu, U'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, V'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam ha'ed, Ki hem chayenu, Ve'orech yameinu, Uvahem negei yomam v'layla, Negei yomam v'layla, Ve'ahavatcha ala tasir, Mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We rise together for Shema, page 34. Shema is this amazing ancient prayer taken right from Torah, right from the book of Deuteronomy that says, "Listen, Israel, Adonai is our God, and Adonai is one."
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated as we continue on page 36 with V'ahavta, which outlines our responsibility to think about God during all phases of the day, when we lie down and when we rise up.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvishavrecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'hitem kedoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti echem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Lehiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem
Adonai Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us
Continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. As we turn to our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha, page 40.
Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai 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 la 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh. Nora tehilot osef eleh.
מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה אלינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 43. Let's join together at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to help in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Page 45. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment that endures forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time as we join together in Vishamru, which is our prayer of thanks for this mystical, wonderful moment of Shabbat. Our congregation does a little something fun with this that you'll probably catch on to. Feel free to join in with it when you figure out what it is. It won't be hard to figure out. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'torotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'torotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'torotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'torotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash
Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Last time. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Excellent. You wooed with the best of them. You can all come back next week. Page 47. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. So we turn to page 46 and we say together, Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open our lips, that our mouths may declare your praise. Please rise.
Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasevot v'imahot, U'mevig Ula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rab lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal kevurot, Umido melach, Melech minit umechayeh, Umatzniach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated as we continue page 55. Let's join together at the very top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yira na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, God of goodness. We give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. On page 61 at the very top, let's join together in our prayer for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. We present you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Shalom Rav
Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Our rabbis created the prayer book to inspire us, to make us think, to give us a challenge. But the rabbis also created moments of silence for us, silence in which we can look inwards to the prayers that are in our own hearts and minds. And so we pause for some moments of silent prayer. We turn together to page 253. And we think of all those in our lives, friends, family, people we are in communities with who need an extra energy, an extra blessing of healing. And so we ask God for healing, healing of body or mind or heart or soul. And in our congregation, we especially mention Ross McCullough, Jan Mandel, Barbara Shapira, Marcia Koblitz, Eric Shabetta, Doug Botner, Louis Tenenbaum, Melanie Wood, Stephanie Willis, Irv Willis, Corinne Egan, Darlene Sharp, Mike Finkelstein, John Gutleben, Rachel Gardner, Gwen Smith, Scott Baker, Bernice Fox, Edna Fritz, Diane Parka Barent, Sharon Kaiser, Dan Tingley, Alan Goldman, Valerie Kane, Ruth Ann Poley, Jill Smokler, Roseanne, Judy, Harry Miller, Chuck Sharp, Joe Fries, Alice Alexander, and Steve. If you're joining us via live stream and you would like to add a name, please add the name into our chat. If you're here in person and would like to add a name, as I look around, please do so.
Jordan Kazuski.
Michael Beard.
Blake Aljawson.
Kate Holland. There you guys go.
We join together in our prayer for healing, middle of the page.
Nishebera avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Nisheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
There are times when the world shakes us awake. This past week, the news of the murder of Charlie Kirk did just that. I want to be clear at the outset, I disagree deeply and passionately with everything, or almost everything, Mr. Kirk has said. His politics, his rhetoric, his positions, these often cut against the very values of compassion, inclusion, justice that I believe are central to Jewish life and Reform Judaism particularly. And yet, his murder is horrific. There is no situation in which I can ever imagine that we would celebrate, excuse, justify violence against someone simply because they disagree. Political assassination, ideological violence, hatred that turns deadly, these are simply not Jewish values. They are not human values. The Torah portion, the section of the Torah that we read this week, begins with an incredibly moving ritual. When the Israelites arrive in the land of Israel, they have returned to their homeland, and they are commanded to bring the first fruits of their harvest in a basket and present it to God. As they do so, they recite a declaration. My ancestor was a wandering Aramean, telling the story of slavery, of being in Egyptian slavery, of liberation, of gratitude for being free. It's a ritual filled with life and power, a ritual of creation. Instead of destroying, the people are asked to bring forth things they have created, they have cultivated, and they offer it in thanksgiving. They are commanded to build, to give, to share, to rejoice with the strangers, the widows, the orphans. This first act of the Jewish people as they return to the land of Israel is not about conquest or vengeance, but gratitude and generosity. What a striking contrast to this horrible violence that has haunted our news. Later in Kitavo, Moses gathers the people together and tells them that they have two paths to choose from. Blessings if they follow God's path this way, curses if they turn away. Blessings are all about life, community, abundance. Curses, they're about destruction and fear and violence. The Torah makes it clear. What we choose shapes our world, shapes the community that we live in. When someone chooses violence, they choose a curse. They destroy not only their enemies, but they destroy the moral fabric of the community they're in. Our tradition knows disagreement well. The old saying is, if you have two Jews, you have... Right. Even we can't agree on the joke. The idea being that we are always filled with ideas and opinions, and we definitely, rarely agree. Look at a page of Talmud, 2,000-year-old collection of Jewish laws and ideas. We have not one opinion, not two opinions on each page, but multiple opinions. There is Rabbi Hillel and Rabbi Shammai who argued on nearly every single subject. Can you imagine two people never ever agreeing on anything? They argue on the important things in theology. They even argue on how to light the Hanukkah candles. And yet, the Talmud preserves these arguments. They preserve these arguments on the same page. The same page speaks to us through the generations, through these basically about 1,000 years of Jewish scholarship, and it's all there in that one page. And how do the rabbis justify it? They say, Elu ve'elu. These ideas and these ideas are divrei Elohim chaim, are words of the living God. Judaism really does believe that if we have to disagree with each other. That's natural, it's common, it's healthy. But we also have to learn to argue, to sharpen ourselves, to listen, to grow. But violence is the opposite. It shuts out the arguments, it shuts out the learning. It closes forever. Mishnah, part of the Talmud, early part of the Talmud, says that a person who destroys a single life, it's as if they have destroyed the whole world. And one who saves a single life, it's as if they have saved the entire world. To take life is to erase this potential and possibility. It is to silence not only a person, but their potential futures, relationships, their potential to impact, to experience, to give to the community. We live in an age where anger is amplified, where social media rewards outrage, where owning the other side can feel more important than seeking the truth. And in such environments, it becomes tempting to see opponents not as people in our communities, not as friends, but as enemies, opponents. But Judaism insists otherwise. Our task is not to erase the other, but to hold ourselves accountable to justice, compassion. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs once wrote that in Judaism, to be free is to argue without resorting to violence. And that is our legacy. And so Charlie Kirk's death is simply not justified or justifiable. It is tragic. Whether I agree with him, I disagree with him, doesn't matter. It's absolutely irrelevant. In fact, it more proves the point that violence only diminishes our community. This week in Kitavo, we are reminded that we can choose blessings or we can choose curses. It is up to us to choose the path of destruction or hatred, the path of building or gratitude. These ancient Israelites brought baskets of fruit, these first fruits, signs of life and hope, and they shared them with neighbors and the vulnerable. That is Jewish life, to plant, to nurture, to harvest, to give. So the question for all of us, I think, is what would it look like if we brought a basket? What is our basket of first fruits? What if we offered our sense of compassion, our patience, our blessings? Torah insists on life. We are commanded to choose life. Uvacharta b'chaim. Choose life. And that is the path of blessing. So bring your baskets. Bring them forward and fill them with words of kindness, acts of justice, and the first fruits of peace. Shabbat shalom. We are going to continue on page 586 as we rise for Aleinu. Sorry. Yes.
282.
282.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol hateit gdula v'yotzeh bereshit shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot v'lo asamanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech Top of 284. Shehunote shamayim ve'oser haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imaho u'shchinatu zo v'govhei meromim hu Eloheinu Eidod emet mokeinu efezu hato kakatu v'torato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim v'shamayim nimah ve'haaretz nitachat einod. Middle of 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. This has been an interesting week. It began on Monday as I joined and was invited to participate in a rededication service for the cemetery at the Soldiers and Sailors Home here in Erie, a cemetery that holds some 1,400 graves of veterans. Veterans who are buried as part of the community there, and they have lovingly been restoring and cleaning those stones for several years, and they have completed the work, and it was an honor to participate and be part of the service of rededication. There is a single Jew that we know of in the cemetery. His name is Hyman Stone. And so I thought it fitting that on this Shabbat we add Hyman to our memories. The week continued, and with yesterday being 9/11 and remembering all of those who lost their lives in the horrible attacks on 9/11, and also a sweet and bittersweet ceremony of, we are the only county in Pennsylvania actually that holds a burial ritual for all those who are unclaimed. So if you pass away and you have no family or you are unclaimed, the state takes care of it, but in general there's usually no burial or scattering of ashes or things like that. And we are the only county actually that holds a ceremony to honor those lives. And we read those names and we mount those names on a wall of memory. An important way of recognizing that all in our community are valuable and should be recognized and honored. And it ended today as we said goodbye to David Parsh, Pastor Karen Parsh's husband, as some of us participated or went to the service and joined with the Abiding Hope community, one of our interfaith partners, and helped say goodbye to David and to honor his memory and pay our respects to Pastor Parsh. And so as we join together tonight in this next prayer, this prayer of memory, this prayer that we as Jews say in times of memory, but which itself doesn't mention death, but rather says to us, bless life. Bless life. And even at the most difficult times, we think that we hope that we appreciate the blessings that memory holds for us. And in our congregation, we are in the period of mourning, Aninut for Janice Zellers, and we send condolences to Allie and your whole family. And that funeral will be on Friday, right? The service? Right, next Friday. Next Saturday? The following week. 2 weeks, right, 2 weeks. So the service of memorial. And we are in the period of Shloshim for Leslie Harf, and condolences to you, Walter, and to your whole family. And Thomas Vokes, to Chris and Jordan, and we wish all of those strength as you walk this path of grief. We observe the art site on this Shabbat for Leo Wertheimer, Bernard Levick, Leopold Frankel, Ellen Chinsky, Ruth Wadley, David Lipsitz, Bertha Strauss, Giza Spitzer, Richard Schwartz, Jacob Weinberger, Ella Spangenthal, Morris Wexler, Richard Zaks, Anna Waxelbaum, Samuel Elkeles, Rosalie Brand, Rose Umans Abramson, Caroline Schoenfield Loeb, Abraham Lieb Brown, Lucille Frank Hanauer, Herbie Fields Burnfield, Hannah Oppenheimer Schuster. If you're joining us via live stream and you would like to add a name, please add the name into our chat. If you are here in person and would like to add a name, please do so. We turn together to Kaddish on page 294. Please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach v'ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach la'alam l'almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalel shemei d'kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who causes peace in the high and distant heights grant peace for us, for all Israel, for all the world. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Our tradition teaches us that in the month of Elul, that month that precedes Rosh Hashanah, the new year, we hear the sound of the shofar to help us, compel us, and push us into that new year. Tekiah. I'd like to invite Craig Reynolds forward to share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and special welcome to our guest tonight. It was a joy to have you here. And thank you to Jesse, Rabbi. Wonderful service, as usual. We get blessed every week. Very nice. Okay, once again, lots going on. This Sukkot, dinner tomorrow night. Anyway, you know, there's a dinner tomorrow night. You should have your RSVP in already, but anyway, we're reminding you it's tomorrow night. Then on Saturday, September 20th, POTUS is being performed at PACA. Join Temple Hood for a wine and cheese party at 6:45, and then the show starts at 7:30, and tickets are $20. And let's see, now this one I'm not sure about. It says, need a handicap parking reservation. Questions about where to park and when, contact the office. So if you have questions, that's what I thought, but Just wanted to make sure, wanted to throw that out. Okay, high holidays, if you need handicap parking during high holidays, because our parking arrangements are going to be a little bit different, let the office know. Okay, Erev Rosh Hashanah congregational dinner is at Roma's Italian Kitchen on Monday, September 22nd at 4:30, and service will follow at the temple at 7:30. Join us for Rosh Hashanah Day 1 services, Tuesday, September 23rd at 10 a.m., and then Tashlik at Veterans Park at 5:30. Rosh Hashanah Day 2 services are Wednesday, September 24th at 10 a.m., and please RSVP for the Day 2 lunch to follow services and the study session. Kaveh Avot is on Sunday, September 28th at both the Temple Anshe Hesed Cemetery and Laurel Hill Cemetery. And then Wednesday, October 1st at 5:30, Kol Nidre. The congregation is welcome to join our families and young children and our Gesher families for a dinner at 5:30 and then the service to follow. The general congregation is at 7:30, so we have the service for the families and the young people at 5:30 and then the general service to follow. And then please RSVP for Break the Fast on September 25th. And then there's a lot more going on, even if this wasn't enough, so check your emails and your temple topics. What did I mess up?
Breakfast is actually on October 2nd.
Oh, you're right. September doesn't make sense. No. Okay, glad somebody's paying attention. So, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
So if we turn to those very last words that we said as part of Kaddish, it says, Oseh Shalom Bimramav, may the one who causes peace in the high and distant heights cause peace for us, for all Israel, for all the world. And let's join together in singing that.
Oseh Shalom Bimramav, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
We turn back to page 5 as we thank God for the experience of Shabbat through Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hiv'chilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim, v'shabat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Sorry? Oh.
So services this evening are dedicated to the memory of Bernard Levick, Ella Spangenthal, and Richard Zaks. And we thank God for their memories, and we thank God for the companionship and the students from Gannon who are here joining us, and for all of us to be able to share Shabbat together. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread.
Our voices rise in song
Together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Please come and take a piece of challah. You just rip off a little piece for yourself and share it around. Shabbat shalom.